So Arsenal 0, Juventus 2. Not the greatest of performances you'll ever watch on a freezing cold evening at the Emirates Stadium to a stadium that was quarter full. Train strikes left, right and centre. But we are going to go through player ratings as we do. We're looking forward to the Premier League starting in 9 days' time as well. And we better perform better than that, that's for sure. Kenny, for anybody who hasn't seen your fan cam, firstly, after this video, check it out and check Matt's out as well. Give us your little breakdown, mate, of how you see that today.
Well, first and foremost, it's all about getting a couple of players, their key players fit, who've played in the World Cup. Partey and Xhaka, and also it's very interesting Kieran Tierney's position because it looks like we don't know what's happening with Zinchenko. Clearly, you have to play with left foot or left back, but it seemed that he's used time with the team wisely. You know what I mean? Because what I'm trying to say is that, before he was being left out of the team because they were saying he can't play in the midfield. Today he played in the midfield and he left a lot of space for Marquinhos in the setting off, and obviously previously that Nelson. So for that respect, I was really pleased with that. But again, it's the same old adage. You can't have strikers the same old, mate. One that gets injured, you need to have a bit of variety because if you're going to change the way you play, you have someone who can attack the ball.
100%, mate. 100% agree. Matty, for anyone who ain't checked your fan cam out, give us your little breakdown, mate.
Well, it's just another case of we know what we're working with. We know what we need to do. The window's opening up in about two weeks here, and we've got to get this get the checkbook out, man, because we are lacking in the goal scoring department. And I'm just for those out there, Eddie Nketiah is not going to he's not going to pull off what he pulled off earlier this year. I know people are still thinking that he's going to drop 7, 8, 9, 10 goals. It's just not you can't play that game and we're at the top of the table. So we've got to get the signings. And like I said in the fam cam, the youngsters, they look good, but that's not enough for us to be relying on going forward. So if we're trying to compete for a title. Now, if you just want to get top 4, 5th, then that's more than what is adequate. But we aspirations are high over here in Arsenal land.
Oh, 100%, man. Yeah, you can't expect 15-year-olds to be coming on and changing games in the Premier League, that's for sure. But yeah, let's start with the goalkeeper. Aaron Ramsdale didn't really have a lot to do apart from pick the ball out the net twice. Literally could have had the deck chair out, the flip-flops on, a nice sangria, nice cigar. Didn't have a lot, did he? Well, I think he had one shot on target that wasn't obviously an own goal. Other than that, I think he had one shot on target that Juve had. What did you rate Ramsdale, mate?
Ramsdale gave up the 2 goals. I say, man, like maybe a 7 or something like that, man. 6 or 7. Just, he just did his job. He did the job to the best he could do. It was 2 own goals, so that was always tricky.
Yeah, it didn't have a lot to do other than that. But Kenny, let's go to our player of the month for November, Benjamin White. He's got rid of all of his personal issues and he's back in the team.
What White did all right in the first half. I was really encouraged. He looked solid and he's also joining the attacks. And he had no effects from the World Cup, mind you. I don't think he did very much. I don't think he was that busy. He didn't exert himself that much physically anyway. So he was fresh as a daisy for us. I'm going to give him a 6.
Let's go to the opposite side, Matt. Kieran Tierney.
I think Tierney was probably the man of the match. I'd say probably about an 8, man. Yeah, I'm pretty tough when it comes to like 9s and 10s. So unless you blow me away, you ain't getting a 9 and 10. But I think he was the man of the match. He's just a born leader, man, and it shows when he plays. It's like Kenny said. If you play him, I just wish we would play him where he needs to be played at, so that he can do what he does best. Because he provides us with so much going down that left side, and oftentimes when I see crosses go in, his crosses are very dangerous. Every time it goes in, it makes the defense have to respect his balls being whipped in. And when you pull him out of that position and you play him somewhere else, and you don't change the style of play, then it creates a ripple effect through the team. But overall, he did outstanding today.
I agree, man. I thought he, as soon as Nelson went off, it kind of changed things up for us, didn't it? We had to put him more infield and Marquinhos more down the left. But let's go centre backs, Kenny. Let's go. Gabriel Magalhaes scored a goal that was disallowed, maybe harshly. Made some good tackles. What did you make of him overall?
I thought he looked solid today because he had a very good battle with Kien, and I thought he stood up to the test. Like I said, he loved the battle. He loved the foot race. He held his own. Strength races held his own, and he didn't give Kien much of a kick. We were harsh on him, deservedly so, because he wasn't playing to the standards and he was beating lackadaisical. But he's continued his recent good form from the break, so I'm giving him a 7.
Let's go to his partner in crime. Scored an own goal at the end, which effectively killed the game off. Rob Holding, Matt.
Rob Holding, he's got to be sold, man. I mean, that's out of all of the fullbacks that we have. I know we're hard on Gabriel at times. Rob Holding is the one that really works my nerves, because it's going to come a situation this season, y'all, where we're going to have to be astute at the back, and it's going to be a 1-0 game, 0-0, whatever. What you saw there is what you will probably see in a high-pressure situation for Rob Holding. And I've always held it that Rob Holding he's fine with being content, and that concerns me, because a player that's fine, that's just, hey, man, I just want to be here. We saw it in the documentary. I just want to be here. They're okay with however anything else goes just because they're there. He's been here so long, I just hadn't seen the improvement. I just hadn't seen it. He needs to be moved on in January, and we need to find somebody that can replace him, because I got a bad feeling he's going to cost us. And today was a snapshot, because we were down 1-0 there for a while. We were trying to do something. Once that second goal went in, Lee, you saw everybody's head drop. That was it. It was, let's just get ready for next Saturday. And I think that is something that's going to be very, very concerning going forward. I'd have to give him probably about a 4 or 5, just depending on, how I feel when you ask me the question. So I'll probably say about a 4.
Yeah, we've seen this with Jenkinson as well, man. Like, comfortable, just happy. Let's move into midfield. Kenny, another player that was wearing a short sleeve today. There was only 2 of them on the pitch, Granit Xhaka and Kieran Tierney. But how did you rate Granit Xhaka? He scored a great own goal. How did you?
I think Granit, he was just finding his feet. It was a thing. It was his first game back from the World Cup. He says our training sessions. So, he played against a team who could defend. Who could defend really well, and who passed the ball as well. So for me, it wasn't a great performance. I'll give him a 6. He weren't great, but I'll show some sort of empathy for him, because it's a fitness test, and I think we want him at his sharpest and at he's more industrious. In 9 days' time. But if you want me to rate the performance, it is nothing special. 6.
Let's go to Thomas Partey, Matt.
Partey more the same. Just getting back, getting sorted out. They did okay. You can tell the difference. You can tell the difference when we got our starters in those positions than you can when they're not in it. I'd have to give Partey, 6 for, he's back, still trying to get sorted out. I will say this too, before you move on, is that it's just good to see that the guys came straight back from the World Cup. That says a lot about their character. I don't think they have got a lot of notoriety for that, man, because most times, I think under past regimes, it would have been a case of they're on vacation for 2 or 3 weeks. We're back in the season and, we're playing from behind. But everybody said, you know what? We hadn't won anything, but we've got something we can win. Let's get back. Let's try to get ourselves sorted. And this is why you come back, so that you can get these kind of games out of the way, so that you can be ready to roll when the season rolls. So,
absolute facts, man. Kenny, somebody that we've been critical of this season, thought he done all right today. Martin Odegaard.
Yes, Martin. He's one of the things. He's had the benefit of a bit of a break. Didn't go to the World Cup in his country. For me, like I said, if he is going to be a playmaker, then I want him to see him have more games. He gave his all. Got a bit of a knock, but as you said, it was one of those things where you know, against a team who can defend and love defending. He did most of his work outside the box, not in the box, and where there was no cutting edge. So I'm going to give him a 6 as well. It weren't his best of games, but it weren't bad.
Let's go to Fabio Vieira, Matt. Nearly scored a great goal off the volley, off his knee or leg, sorry. Flicked it up and volleyed. It would have been a cracking goal. Like we said, put some nice crosses in the box today as well. He's kind of finding his feet at Arsenal now as well, isn't he?
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, he is really he's really impressed me, man, over this preseason period. You know, outstanding goal he scored at the first game. I got a chance to watch the second game. He was moving around the pitch, looking well, whipping balls in, you know. And then today, more the same. The only problem is we got to get him on that weight plan, Kenny. We got to get him on that weight plan because he is just too light. But that'll probably come with age, man. So I'd have to give him probably a 6 or a 7. I think he did fairly well today. My biggest concern is I hope that he can continue this form once we get into the season against these teams, with of a better caliber, excuse me. And hopefully he can perform. But if he can start adding goals to his repertoire on a daily basis, then that's just what the doctor ordered.
Absolutely, mate. Let's go to Reece Nelson. Was playing all right until he got injured. We shouldn't be shocked that he got injured, Kenny, because his injury record since he's been at Arsenal is play 4 games, get injured, play 4 games, get injured. It's kind of mad. I think he's touching 15 injuries in his career. He's 22. Kind of worrying as well because we look totally different without him on the pitch, which is kind of weird. But what did you rate him, mate, before he went off?
I'm just as frustrated as you are because I was loving what he was doing. I was loving that kind of understanding with Kieran Tierney because, as you know, I liked him on the right hand side rather than the left. But you know my views on inverted wingers. But I like one-on-one contact. One of the things we've been robbed of, in the last few years because of Spain, was one-on-one contact with defenders. Everyone wants to pass the ball. Everyone wants to be tick-a-tacker. Everyone wants to, play with triangles and, just pass someone till they make one mistake and then you're in. So it was refreshing to see Reece Nelson as much as it lasts. So I was going to give him a good mark for what I saw. So I'm going to give him a 7 because I was happy with his performance up until he got taken off. And if it's a hammy, oh God. I don't see him coming back till like the end of January.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's minimum. That's minimum. That hopefully that we get because Arsenal injuries are longer than everybody else's injuries. They'll tell us 6 weeks, but that means 6 months.
It means that he's going to be here at the end of the transfer window as well. So any hopes of Arsenal trying to loan him or sell him have probably just been put in the bin. The same as in the summer when we were trying to loan or bin him. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's go to Eddie and Nketiah.
Oh man, Eddie Nketiah, man. I ate him up in my fan cam. He's got to go. I hear an echo. I don't know if that's me or not.
Yeah, same. 1 sec. Go again, man.
Yeah, I think I ate him up in my fan cam. Eddie Nketiah is not what we need to get over the line. Today is another example in the many games that we've seen where even in the most simplest positions, a striker that has the ability to score will find a way to score, i.e. Giroud. We talk about it all the time. That's an instinct that a striker has that they can just score no matter, if they find themselves in a position, go. They make you pay for it. Eddie Nketiah he fluffs his lines all the time. And like I said, we're in a situation where we cannot depend on him to give us 12 to 15 goals to get us over the line. I just don't see it. Now, if he proves me wrong, I'll get the salt and pepper out. I get a plate and I'll eat this crow. But I just don't see it. And we played against poor competition in the preseason. Lyon was pathetic. The first team that we played was rough. And then you look at today, as Kenny said, you play a team that they thrive and live for defending. Because that's what he's going to see a lot of when the season starts, Lee. There's a lot of defending. And can he break down teams like maybe a Jesus. No, that's not his game. We're all still trying to figure out what his game is.
Yeah.
He's trying to figure out what his game is. So, I mean, today was another example of lackluster performance. I'm gonna have to give him about a 4. This $100,000 this deal, man, was absolutely. It's one of the worst deals I've seen in a while, man. It's one of the worst deals I've seen in a while. I'm with you all the way, Lee. Sell him to Crystal Palace. We'll take Zaha, take that problem off your hands, and we'll move forward. Well,
at least we've protected his value with that.
Yeah, he definitely protected his value.
Let's go to Marquinhos. Kenny came on, then got subbed. He came on for Reece and then got subbed in the second half. What did you make of him, mate? Started on the left.
He started on the bench, but he looked pretty solid. He actually gave us something. He gave us that bit of width, genuine width, with his left foot. And again, he put in some good crosses. He was trying to get down the line, but against a team that loves defending, it's going to be difficult. But for what we wanted him to do, he did his job. He did his job, and he did it quite well. So I'm going to give him a 6. Because it wasn't greatish. Ultimately, we weren't good enough to kind of prize that defence over him. But for the time he was on the pitch, I was satisfied with him.
Can I ask a question, Lee? Do you all think that that's going to be our Achilles heel when we start talking about January, February, when we're playing the teams when it's cold, rainy, and teams that they'll just start defending? Because we're going to start seeing a lot more as parking the bus. We're going to start seeing a lot of that in the next couple of weeks. And today was a good example of what I think we'll be coming up against. And do you think that we'll be able to break these teams down? Do you think that we can adjust to playing a different style as opposed to trying to play quick, fast, in a hurry to break these teams down?
Thing is, Matt, we played like that last season. If you look at the way we played last season, we kind of changed their style and in terms of like trying to get more width on the sort of left-hand side, and we've got our fullbacks. We just got our fullbacks to, play more inverted and trying to join the midfield. But I think the way we were playing last season, you're right. We will struggle to break teams down. If we, especially when we don't have Jesus, because what Jesus does is that he creates space. Eddie does his best, and he runs channels. Yeah. He doesn't make himself available in all parts of the front three and even in midfield. So yeah, we could struggle to play teams like. But the thing with the Premiership is that the way we you are successful in parking the bus is if you've got an outlet up front, because if you've got an outlet up front, it makes teams think twice before they keep on boom, 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 boom. Now, if you're just parking the bus, you're boom, 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 boom. I don't think there's any team in the Premiership that's good enough to withstand that pressure. Yeah. So I think we'll be fine. But if you've got a team that's got an outlet and has got teams that can hit us get on the overlap, sit us on the counter attack, and actually attack us in numbers, then we will struggle 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. I think that we have to get a different type of player up front, and we also need to start taking more shots from outside the box with quality as well. Because Odegaard today had a great opportunity, but he took that extra touch inside and whipped it over the bar. He took a brilliant first touch. It's on his favoured left foot. Slap it. You don't need that extra touch. Yeah, he took the extra touch. I get why he did it. Thomas Partey needs to work on his shooting. I know he scored a couple of bangers this season, but we need somebody, if we're going to get a team that's going to park the bus constantly like they did today, you need to have pot shots, man. You need to have players that are capable of putting them in top minutes, and we ain't got that in our team. Yeah, or you need a target man to whip them high balls into. But let's move on.
That's a dream, isn't it? That's a dream, isn't it? But I think, when you're talking about Eddie Nketiah, he'll score 12 and 15 goals in a team if we were constantly on attack and, we were battering teams into submission. We were scoring 4 or 5 goals. Of course he'll score goals. There's players who play in La Liga who will get 12 to 15 goals a season because they play in teams that are boom, boom, boom. Defenses are tight, put the white flags out. Premiership's a bit different than that, and Eddie's not that kind of man. Even if we gave him the whole season, he gets those goals.
He'd be good at Watford, which ironically is right next door to Arsenal. But let's go on to Mohamed El Neni. Kenny.
Oh, my player. Yeah, Matt. You know what I say about El Neni. I find it very difficult. Whilst other people think, what we do with him, I feel bad criticising him because I know exactly what he gives us, and I know that he will give us everything he has. Doesn't matter how many minutes I have, and that's why I'll give him a 5 today because he didn't have much to do. But in terms of him, I don't want him to have another contract, but I'll miss him when he's gone because I know full well that he's one player that I can trust that he will genuinely wants to play for the club, wants to give everything his all. And that's why I've always got respect for him. But is he going to win me a title? Is he going to win me the Champions League? Nah.
He knows his limitations, man. He knows what he's good at and what he's bad at. He keeps it simple. Which is why I take him off. I don't rate him, but I don't know. He's made a good career out of doing the simple things right.
Yeah, you can't ask for a player. He's like Song and Giroud, man. They didn't knock down the walls, but you knew that there were players that you could count on, and he's a player that you can count on. He always brings his lunch pail to work.
Let's go to Cedric Suarez, Matt.
Suarez, man, he was okay, man. It was fair. It's a lot of 4s and 5s you can throw. 4s and 5s and 6s getting thrown out today, man. I'd probably say about a 5 at best. I mean, it's the same old when it comes to Cedric Suarez. It's the same old. Some of these guys, it's the same old. You know what you're looking at when you see them. Yep. I mean, that should be concerning, Lee. Honestly, it should be concerning that it's the same old. This is opportunity. Some of these guys are getting opportunities that they don't want to get.
They're not really grasping them.
They're not taking them. They're not taking them by the bull by the horns. And it's just like, okay, now if I see this, does the regime see this? And are they prepared to make changes? Because some of these guys, it's just they don't take these opportunities serious, man. They don't take their chances serious.
He's punching his wife's an 8 or 9 out of 10. He's a multi-millionaire, drives a nice car, plays for Arsenal Football Club. He's not a very good footballer. He's winning at life, bro. He's winning at life. Good luck to him. Yeah, but hopefully we've been him in January. Let's go down to the kids that came on. Here we go. We've got more exciting pairing. Let's go to Anwari, Kenny.
Wanyeri. You know what? Wanyeri.
Sorry, I'm glad you pronounced his name correctly, mate.
No. I'll get horsewhipped if I mispronounce his name. But Wanyeri, for me, he's a player that came on. He had a bit of fun. And that's all that you wanted him to do is to enjoy himself and learn the game. I'm going to give him a 5. He didn't do anything spectacular, but he's learning his trade. It's all about being around the first team, learning what being a professional is about. And, hopefully, the more chances he gets, more sniffs he gets, his manager's shown him that there is a pathway for you in our team if you keep on doing what you're doing. But there's going to be a time maybe next year when you say, you know what, you need to be pushing for that first team. But right now, it's about the lad having some fun.
Yeah, big up to him, man. He had a shot that just whistled wide as well. It's nice, man. 15 years old, man. Crazy. Let's go to the last substitute we used. What a quality name this kid has as well, by the way. Mario Kozia Jubri. What's his name? That's like a Hollywood superstar name, isn't it? Yeah. I'm going to literally mirror what Kenny just said. A 5, there's opportunities here. It's always refreshing to see Arsenal have youth players that come up and look good. We're all old enough to remember when Jack Wilshere and all those that batch came onto the scene, and the electricity, Fabregas at 15, 16. And when you see players that are young pop on, and you can just see that spark, and you're like, okay, yeah, this is one that we might want to hold on to. Both of those players exemplified that today. And I don't think we should be in a situation where we should be rushing them into the first team at all. I think that they continue to keep working on their trade, continue to show what they showed today: life, passion, determination, hard work. And like Kenny said, Carling Cup rolls around next year. Well, not Carling Cup, Lord. Is it the Carling Cup? Or is it the Carabao Cup? I'm getting old. We're out of that, bro.
Yeah, Yeah.
Cup, yeah.
No, not this next season, but the next season, next season. When that you can roll them in there, or maybe one of the bottom draws of the FA Cup. Bring them in and
Oxford. We've got Oxford next month.
Yeah, that's what I say. That'd be a great opportunity to bring them in there. Let them get about 15, 20 minutes of solid play, and because we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to look kind of weigh out these games now, because we're gonna have to figure out who's gonna be starting. Because we can't just rotate our starters every single game for some of these games. They'll be done and dusted by March by April if we do that. So some of these guys, they work hard and they'll get a few minutes of game time here or there, and they'll be able to move up that ladder. But all in all, it's good to see that we've got quality in the youth ranks.
Yeah, 100%, man. Matty, this is your first time doing player ratings. I know you watch it. We're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and then we're all going to fire Arteta's rating out. Yeah. For everybody who's watched, make sure you subscribe to Matt's channel. I'll leave the link for that in the description. So, follow Kenny Ken's Insta as well. I'll leave that downstairs as well. If you cry about the ratings, we don't care. We're back in 9 days' time to do it all again. And just leave your ratings. If you don't agree, just put yours down there and let us know what you think of the game as well. 3, 2, 1, 5,
7.
Oh,
6. I'll give him a 6.
You know why I'm gonna give him a 7? You know why I give him a 7? I'll tell you why I gave him a 7. Just because it's a preseason. He just put out a team, and in this case, it's up to the players that he put out there to do the job. It's not a lot that we can take away from this. Now, if this was a Premier League game, we're talking we talking 4 or 5 today.
Zeros.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. It is a regular game, but no, this is preseason. Everybody's still trying to get adjusted. I'm not going to read too much into this one.
See, if I'll give him a 6, because the same sort of thing is that I think the whole situation was about bedding in Benjamin White, giving him full a game, giving Xhaka a game, because it's basically what he's done is that he's actually thought, right, I want my team by the time they play West Ham to be fresh. So he's played Ramsdale in goal. He's played Benjamin White, who was first teamers. He's played Partey. He's played obviously Xhaka. All those guys are involved in the World Cup one way or another. He's always had Gabriel, so he's bedded in. He's always had Teddy, and I think he'll probably look at it and think, right, Kieran T's probably got the arse of me because I'm not playing him, but I've given Kieran T clear instructions how we're going to play and how you fit in, and and I'll give you a chance in this. So I don't want anyone to say that Kieran Tierney can't play in the midfield, that only Zinchenko could play that, or that that Kieran Tierney can't defend at left back, that only Tommy Asu could do that, because there's no excuses now. Kieran Tierney's got his clear instructions. Arteta can see he can do that, and that's why I'm giving Arteta a 6, which is basically right. You've played Kieran Tierney, but you've actually given him some clear instructions how you want him to play, and you give him a chance, and that on playing that position, if that's how you want to play moving forward. So yeah, but if it was a league game, oh God, no, it doesn't matter how well we play and how much. I would have held him responsible.
Yeah, I put it to you like this: I would have had Kenny's hair on my head if this was a Premier League game today. I had hair on my head today. If that was West Ham, I'd been going ballistic, man.
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, we weren't great. Listen, let's hope we can get better, man. And appreciate both of you coming on, man. I know, Kenny, you got a takeaway turning up any second now as well. And
it turned up 15 minutes ago. I'm in the doghouse.
Oh, is that why? Oh, you better go, man. I don't want to. It's Christmas time, man. Don't be getting in trouble, bro. You're out of here, people. We'll be back again. Well, I'll be back again with an upload tomorrow. We're going to watch Messi Masterclass tomorrow, hopefully. And
I hope for your sake, Messi wins the World Cup, because I'll tell you one thing: I'm going to own you, mate, because I've got a lot to say about it. It's not just you, Lee. I'll give you a bite.
Hey, man,
I love you.
Let's give our scores, man. What's the score tomorrow, Kenny? What you got tomorrow?
Whoever scores the first goal wins it. If France score first, they're going to win. If Argentina score first, they're going to win. I think it's going to be narrow. We're talking 1-0 here. I think it's 1-0.
Argentina 2-1.
Yeah, I think 2-1. Messi's going to score tomorrow. Trust me, he's scored in every step so far.
I think this will probably be a step too far for Argentina, because I think the way they play, you know, I don't think it's conducive against a France team. I say this respectfully because I've got a lot of respect for Messi, and I love his numbers. Obviously, I prefer CR7, but I have to say it respectfully. I think, with the exception of Saudi Arabia, a lot of people have just gone there to mind Lionel Messi. Like they want to swap shirts with the lad rather than play a football match.
It's the last dance.
I respect that. I respect that. But I think if he's going to win the World Cup, let him earn it. And I think there's a team that who's going to make the lad earn it. And I think France, in all areas, have got a better team individually than Argentina, even defensively, especially down the full-backs. So if France don't win this, then they'll never win it.
Hey, Lee, you know, I'm going Kenny like this. I'll use a boxing reference here, man. This is going to be classically like on was it Rocky 5 there, Kenny, when Rocky came back and lost? That's the way Kenny make it sound. It's like Rocky gonna lose, but you know, he's still Messi.
Yeah, I think what it is like, I'm just glad that this tournament, I've loved every minute of this tournament, and I haven't been on my Arsenal head, but saying that, you know, it's a great opportunity for everyone. It's not just for Messi. It's a great opportunity for, you know, the French players. First team in 60 years to like win the World Cup. Also, Mbappe by the age of 23 would have won 2 World Cups. A lot of people are dismissing Mbappe and say that compared to Messi at the same age. Well, at 23, Messi wouldn't have done what Mbappe does if they win the World Cup. He wouldn't have had 2 World Cups.
This is a whole show, by the way, because we're going to do this on Monday, right, with the podcast. Yeah, it's all about timing and being lucky. Cleberson's won a World Cup. Mustafi's won a World Cup. Because Mbappe's won a World Cup twice, doesn't mean he's better than
Lee, that's what you've got to say at the show. The difference is none of those guys you mentioned were like I said, catalysts for their teams winning the World Cup. Mbappe is a catalyst for France.
You know who
got a better squad. You've admitted that yourself. France have got a better squad and did have last World Cup, right? Messi dragged Argentina to the World Cup 8 years ago and lost in the final, right? And he got a golden shoe in that World Cup. He did everything he could, but Higuain was ballooning shots out the stadium, right? This time round, Messi's gone, fuck relying on anyone else. I'm doing it myself this time. Yeah, and I'm telling you, if he wins it, it is the biggest carry job I've ever seen, because that Argentina team is shit.
Lee, you're only 4 years old when a player that I rate just as highly as Messi, if not a little bit higher, did it. Messi's not. It's ain't the first. Diego Maradona did it in '86.
You know who the X factor of tomorrow's game is. You know who the X factor be in tomorrow's game, and it's not Mbappe. I think it's gonna be Olivier Giroud. These games, man, he will find something crazy and score a goal. I mean, he almost damn near had the scorpion to kick again against y'all.
He did.
I've got to go, but I'm going to say one thing before we go.
People. Make sure you subscribe.
Let me just say one more thing.
Go on.
You're still not talking about Griezmann.
I agree.
I forgot about Griezmann. I'm sorry, Ken. I forgot all about Griezmann. Yeah, he's been working hard this year. He's been coming back on defense.
Yeah. If you take Griezmann and Messi out of them 2 teams, they don't make the final. Simple as that. Neither of them. But listen, we're out of it because this could ramble on for hours. Adios, amigos.